Başından beri
We gave some advice to the Taliban administration, not with an arrogant attitude like the Westerners, but we tried to explain the importance of the issue. First of all, we once again told them that they should be inclusive for the unity of the country. We told them the importance of including all ethnic and religious groups in the administration of the country. We have been saying this since the very first day. We also underlined one thing, and do not see this as a request from the West, but as an expectation from the Islamic world as well. We told them the importance of allowing girls to go to school and letting women work.
Let's cross now to Tom O'Connor, who's live in New York for more. He's an award-winning senior writer of foreign policy at Newsweek. Hi, Tom.
Hi, thanks for having me. Great to be here.
Good to have you. So we heard the foreign minister of Turkey, Mevlut Cavusoglu, try to clearly separate himself from the West, saying outright, well, we're not like the West. We're not going to lecture the Taliban. However, he was quite direct in what he said he wanted to see the Taliban do, even more direct in some cases than we see the West be when they very diplomatically dance around other tough issues.
Yeah, certainly. So obviously, the Taliban, their reason for coming to Turkey, just as going to any of the countries in the region and beyond, of course, maybe in the future, is to build up this idea that the Taliban is a normal governing power. They want to build up in the future diplomatic relations. Obviously, they have not been recognized yet, but they do want engagement. And I think what Turkey wants to do is appear receptive to this. Turkey wants to show the world that they also can, then they can engage with the Taliban, that they going to separate themselves from a country that is being perceived as interfering or influencing from abroad in what's going on in Afghanistan itself. So I think that there's a sort of mutual interest here on both parties to some extent, of course.
Yeah, like let's at least lay the groundwork and show that we're willing to give a little bit. We haven't seen the Taliban really be willing to give anything, though. They've been very unwilling to compromise on some of these basic points from where the society was firmly for the last 20 years. It's as if the Taliban now just expect everything to shift back. So how is that fact likely to shape the relationship that it's able to have with a somewhat more receptive country like Turkey?
Yeah, well, I think it's a wait-and-see approach in some ways. One thing that's common among all the countries in the region that have engaged with the Taliban, including Turkey, is a desire for stability. And as we see with the recent militant attacks from ISIS and other groups in Afghanistan, is that this is a real issue. So obviously, I think most countries in the region would almost prefer the Taliban's first priority be this stability, counterterrorism measures, security measures. So I think that's right now the first priority. And of course, human rights is a major thing. The Taliban have made broad promises toward that, and there's been perhaps some sort of movement on this front, but clearly it's not as fast as other countries would like it. But that seems to be mostly the West pushing that broadly. We also saw during the trip Turkey and officials there mentioning the desire to see human rights respected, women going to school. And the Taliban in some ways has said that they would promise to move in that direction. But of course, there's not been any direct commitments made there.
Right. But human rights is a security issue ultimately. But you're right, maybe not in the immediate sense. But, it's been striking to see this meeting because the Taliban arrive with their group. It looks very, very much like a legitimate high-level meeting. They sit down at the table, but then at the end of the table, you see only one flag, the Turkish flag. So that's a very deliberate sign that the Taliban is not quite ready for prime time on the world stage. But we've been told that these talks were productive. Of course, both sides want to show that, but how productive is this likely to be?
Well, I guess we'll see in the future. I mean, right now, the Turkey is particularly an important visit for the Taliban because not only is a major, mostly Muslim power in the region, but also it's a NATO power, a gateway to the West. So the Taliban is expanding, obviously, its reach as far as countries that it will travel to directly and countries that will receive it directly. And also at the same time, what's very important that Turkish officials had said was the call for unfreezing Taliban assets abroad. This is very important important because obviously part of that stability, we talk about human rights, we talk about militant attacks, but the economy is a major driving factor in that. And as earlier mentioned on this program, winter is coming, and that is going to be a huge issue. So certainly if there's any movement in the economic realm and as far as foreign assets abroad, that will be a major get for the Taliban and hopefully for the region in terms of stability.
Yeah, because the economy is also a huge security issue. All right, Tom, good to have you. Thanks.